So when Luke asked me to do the word, it was cool because I was kind of like having a bunch of conversations with him and my mother about like why, because I feel like that just really it cuts to the heart of why we do things, and that's really what God is concerned about. And because I had been thinking about when Jesus was like, when he who has hated his brother in his heart, he's committed murder. And I was like, whoa, that's like kind of crazy. And that just made me think about like, okay, like why am I doing things and where is my heart at when I'm doing things? Because I've never killed anybody, but in God's eyes, I've committed murder because I know I've hated people in my heart. And so I just thought, okay, we got to talk about that. And then while I was in the middle of writing this, and then glory, I feel like God was just like, yo, glory is also a part of this, which is why I have our hearts and glory. Because those two things I think go together, because that's where our hearts are at with these things. God is our creator. Let's see what he says about our heart. This is probably a fairly well-known verse. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9 through 10. The heart is more deceitful than anything else and incurable. Who can understand it? I, the Lord, examine the mind. I test the heart to give according to each his way, according to what his actions deserve. That's a little scary for me, I'm not going to lie. I always imagine like Luke, which is one of my homies, Ox right here, another mentor of mine. If I was just sitting face to face with them and they were just like testing my heart and my mind, just asking all these questions about me, like that would not be a very comfortable thing. And so much more God who understands the depth of our hearts. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to, he doesn't have to go like, oh, I wonder what's going on. He sees all of it and is laid out before him. So when I read that last part that says, I test the heart, I examine the mind to give according to each his way, according to what his actions deserve, that is very scary for me. You know what I'm saying? To give what I deserve, because I've like done good things, or I've done nice things, or I've like served people, but I've done it at times where I know my heart was not in the right place. And what my actions deserve, if God examines my mind and my heart, is not what my actions actually were representing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, ooh, okay. So first, that's what God says about our heart. That's kind of crazy because he created us. So he definitely is going to know where our hearts are at. And I think this is paired with what God's desire is for us. This is why he tells us our heart is deceitful. This is Jesus in the garden before he was going to be betrayed and delivered up to the cross. He's praying to the Father. This is crazy. We get to see inside the mind of the Father and the Son. We're seeing how they communicate. This is really wild that we get to like see this. May they all be one. This is us as believers. As you, Father, are in me and I in you. May they also be in us so that the world may believe you sent me. I have given them the glory you have given me so that they may be one as we are one. I'm going to move to this next slide immediately. That's God's desire for us, that we would be one with one another, just as the Father and the Son are one. That's a level of intimacy I cannot comprehend. Because it says the Lord God is one. That's wild that he desires this with us. This is why the heart is important. This people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain, teaching as doctrines human commands. The gospel did not come from something we thought up, which means naturally we're going to reject it. But our rejection of the gospel leads to this, our hearts being far from God, and it keeps us from entering into this oneness with God that he desires with us. That's why we have to be so careful about where our heart is at. Even when we're like doing things that God wants from us. Oh God, look, I served here. It's like, yo, but your heart is far from me. You don't have this oneness that I came here and died for you for. So there's no point. That's why our heart is deceitful, because it'll have us thinking, oh man, but I did this, God, we good. He's like, boy, what are you talking about? Your heart is far from me. I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to ask why when we're doing things. Why did I just do this? Why am I praying? Why am I reading the word? Am I taking the word and going, okay, I need to read the Bible and I'm going to preach this as a doctrine? You have to read the Bible to become saved. You have to read the Bible to be in a relationship with God. I can do all those things, and now my heart is far from the Lord, and there's no oneness there. This is why the heart is an evil thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it naturally drives us away from God. That's what our heart does. Even in the garden. Seen the fruit, was like, bet, I'm on that. I want that right there. First time we were ever separated from God was because our heart desired something and we let it because it's deceitful. You know what I'm saying? But here's where the glory part comes in. I used to be really scared of this word glory. And I was like, no, like, God, like, you get all the glory, which is true. But God designed us for a particular glory to experience and to have. We've already actually hit on it, but I'm going to highlight it again. I have given them, this is Jesus again with the Father. I have given them the glory. God is saying he's given us glory. The glory that you have given me so that they might be one as we are one. I'm going, yo, what is this glory he's talking about? I did not hear him say, where is this glory? Describe this glory to me. What is this glory? That's because I don't really understand how great God is, and I don't see what he's talking about as glory, unfortunately. That's just me and my natural mind. I don't see it. But here's that glory he's talking about in Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 24. But let him who glories glory in this, that he understands and knows me, that I am the Lord, exercising loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these I delight, says the Lord. That's our glory, is that we understand and know God. The unfortunate thing is that this probably isn't our glory that we're walking around with right now. This is the glory we were designed for, is to go, yo, like, I know the creator of the universe, and I know him. Like, I know him like me and Luke, we have a relationship because I know him. That's our glory with God, is that we know him and understand. We know what he delights in. We know what he hates. We know what he loves. You know what I'm saying? But I got to ask, like, yo, is that our glory? Is that what we're like, ooh, y'all never going to believe this. I know God. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why I miss it when I first read this verse. May they be one as you, Father, are in me and I in you. May they also be in us. That's the glory he's talking about. When I read that, I don't read that as a glory. I'm, what? Okay, bet. Like, we get to be one. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like, dope. That's the glory we were designed for. That's what our hearts, naturally, that's what our hearts are pulling us from, and we don't even know it. Taking us in all these places, and we end up, our hearts are far from God, and like, yo, something ain't right. I'm like looking for something, and it's not over here. It's not over here. It's like, yo, because the glory we were designed for is in this oneness with God. But our hearts are deceitful. Here's an example of a deceitful heart. This also kind of terrifies me, if I'm being honest. Matthew chapter 7, verse 21 through 23. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven. I'm going to pause right there. In this time, when this was written, people, if you lived in a kingdom, let's say you were Roman. Let's scratch that. Let's just say you were in a kingdom at that time. That's a little too specific. You called the king Lord, and if you said anyone else was your Lord, they'd kill you right there. So with that in mind, he's saying not everyone who calls me Lord, Lord, someone who is willing to die to call him Lord, will enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he who does the will of my Father in heaven, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name and done many wonders in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. There it was again, I never knew you. To them, to the people that Jesus is talking about in this, their glory was the ways they prophesied and the many wonders they did. That was their glory. So they came to God going, yo, look at all this crazy stuff. It's like, boy, That's not glory. That's actually just mine. You were supposed to come to me with the glory of, Lord, Lord, I know you. Then he'd be like, oh, yes. Yes, you do. This is the glory I designed you for. Come, enter into my kingdom. So we have to ask why. Do you want to know why that scares me? Because they prophesied and did wonders. I'm not saying they brought a good word or which those are great things. They did wonders. People were healed. There were miracles and they didn't enter the kingdom. God is going to use whoever he wants. But when you stand before him, he's going, yo, do you know me? I'm not worried about any of this other stuff because I can get this done with or without you. Do you know me? What glory are you coming to me with? With the glory I designed you for, which is the knowledge of me, or all these ways that I used you? Because at the end of the day, that stuff is we won't need to prophesy in the kingdom of heaven. We won't need to do many wonders in the kingdom of heaven. That stuff is coming and going. And it's crucial for this day and age that we're in because we're in the in-between. We're waiting for his return. But God is not worried about that. He's going, do you know me? And if you know me and if I know you, that's going to mean so much more to you than the fact that you laid your hand on somebody and I healed them through you. So what should we do with our hearts since we know they're deceitful? We allow the Lord to question us. I think very often we put God in this questioning box, like if you're in court and you put him on the witness stand, you're like, God, why are you doing da-da-da-da-da? Why'd you do this in my life? Why'd you allow this to happen? Why did you da-da-da? Why? And we very rarely allow ourselves or allow God to put us in that question box and for him to question us. Very rarely do I think we do that. We just want answers for our own narrative. We want answers to satisfy ourselves. Boom, okay, God, you know all things. Just tell me what's going on, and I'm out of here. How often do we allow God to question us? And here in Psalms 26, verse 2 and 3, test me, Lord, and try me. Examine my heart and mind. For your faithful love guides me, and I live by your truth. In that first one, in Jeremiah, it was saying God is doing that already. That's why in this one right here, God had already examined and tested the minds of the people who were saying, Lord, Lord. He's going I don't know you. This is a much different heart going, I'm asking you to. That's a way different heart. That's asking God to do those things. That's a heart that actually desires to, okay, God, seek me out. What part of me is not desiring oneness with you? And I want that in that part of my heart. I want that in my mind. That's a way different heart. That's a heart God can work with. Without the truth of the gospel, we can't face reality. I can't go before God, the all-powerful, all-perfect, all-holy creator, and go examine me because I know enough to know whatever's in here is not good. I know the things I've done. I know the things I've thought. I know the things I've said. For me to go before him and be like, examine me. I know he's not finding anything good in there. And without that reality, two things happen. Without that truth, two things happen. We either run from reality and try to escape it, or when we finally face it, it completely crushes us. That's our only two options apart from the truth of the gospel. And everything that we're doing apart from applying this truth is either running or getting crushed. We have no other option. And the way that may manifest in your life, I don't know what that looks like, but that's our only two options. Look, it says, your faithful love guides me and I live by your truth. What is this truth that we get to live by that allows us to say, test me, Lord, and try me, examine my heart and mind? Not the truth that I've loved my brother and sister. I've gone to church every Sunday and I've read your... That's not the truth I need for you to examine me and test me. But it's the truth of the gospel. And what is that truth? If anyone in here is married or in a relationship or wants one, you log in on this part because Paul is talking to the Ephesians right here. And he's saying this is how husbands should love their wives. That's kind of a side note because this is crazy. But this is the truth of the gospel. This is the product of the gospel. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church, which is us, and gave himself for her to make her holy. Can you say that with me? Holy? Can you say that with me? Holy. Cleansing her with the washing of water by the word. He did this to present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or anything like that, but holy and, can y'all say this with me? Blameless. We are holy and perfect in the sight of God. That we can't get more holy or more perfect in the sight of God. We're either completely messed up or we're holy and perfect in the sight of God. With this truth, we're able to go before God and go, examine me. You've made me perfect and holy. What areas of my life have not accepted this truth? And search me and find those areas and apply this truth to my heart. Because although we've been made perfect and holy, there are so many areas of us that have not accepted this truth and are actually living it out. With this truth, I can face the reality of a deceitful heart, of a wicked heart. That's what gives me the boldness to do these things, for us to do these things. So I want to apply this truth and spend some time allowing God to search our heart on some things. Number one is, why do you love the Lord? Why have you made a commitment to God? What's in your heart that goes, okay, God, I'm going to serve you, die daily for you. Why is that? Because if it's not going, whoa, this is who you are. This is what you've done for me. You've written my name in the book of life. You came and lived and died for me and overcame everything I deserve to be with you. If that's not why, today's a good day to search that out. Because I don't want to, and I don't want any of you right here. I don't want any of you going, Lord, Lord. And he going, I don't know you. I don't want that for anybody on this earth. I don't care who you are. Because if he did it for me, everyone deserves it. I know I should not be able to be in the kingdom. I am 100% certain that he's written my name in the book of life solely because of Jesus. It's because of that I'm able to go, okay, where am I tripping? And I want that for everybody. We have got to search our hearts. I never want this to happen. Unfortunately, it's going to happen to some people, or he wouldn't have said it. Here's another one. Why are you in the relationships that you're in, romantic or platonic? Siblings, parents, cousins, friends, coworkers, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't care. Why are you in them? Because when Jesus talks about the two greatest commandments, and he said they're similar, to love the Lord your God with your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. If I'm asking you why you love the Lord, I've got to ask why you love the people around you. Because it's a direct reflection of your relationship with God. So why are you in them? Are you in them because you're looking for a glory from the people around you? Oh, man, this woman right here, she can give me some glory. Or this dude, I mean, my friends here, he's got status at the college. So like when I'm rolling with him, people see me and we're like, yeah. We rock around big. It's like, yo, are we just putting up with our family? You know what I'm saying? There's times that may happen, but it's like, yo, why are we loving the people in our lives? What's happening in our hearts? Because it's a direct reflection. And then if you have a ministry that God has either called you to or calling you to, or if you have a gift he's giving you, I don't care if it's shoveling snow or if it's prophecy, I don't care what it is. God has given you a gift. Whether it's helping someone or serving someone, you see someone doing on the side of the road, you give them some change. I don't care what it is. Any type of service, why are you doing it because you're trying to earn this glory and you're going before the Lord going, look, God, Lord, I gave a homeless dude $20. Is that what you're going to say when he comes back? Is that why you're serving? Or are you going, wow, my name is in the book of life. I want to serve your children so that they can know this God who saved them. Because then we'll go before the Lord and go, Lord, I know you. So I just want to get behind the heart of these things and the whys. And if any of you are struggling with, I don't really know if I'm really like feeling this whole Jesus thing, or like, I don't really know much about this. That's cool, because these questions might be a little deep. But I ask you to ask why you're searching. You're here today for a reason. Why are you searching for the truth? Why have I chosen? Okay, Jesus. Why do I want to know who you are? Because I can promise you, you're going to open up the Bible and see stuff Jesus said and get super confused really quick when you see all these commandments. Love your neighbor. Love God. You're going to go, oh man, I gotta put on a bunch more rules to lift up. And for a moment, that might work. That might work for a little bit. It worked for me when I first gave my life to Jesus. It got me through. Okay, God, I just got to love people around me and love you. Bet I can do that. That got super tiring really quickly, and I did not feel like I was not a changed person at all. Because I was still only loving people to look for a glory out of them. So my labor was actually just for me, and I didn't serve anyone. You know what I'm saying? So I would ask if you are just wondering about who Jesus is, just ask yourself, why am I searching for this? And I'm going to tell you, Jesus is trying to give you the glory that he created you for, which is knowing him. There is nothing greater than knowing God. It says even the angels are still searching out the gospel and searching to the depths of it. There's no end. We cannot get to the end of who this God is. That's crazy, because they've been with him for as long as they've been created, and that's way before I was around. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to journal, if you want to just get in prayer, and if anyone I know I'm kind of like this sometimes, it helps me to work things out loud. If you're with a friend or something like that and just want to work out some thoughts out loud, that's totally fine. I'm going to give just 10, 15 minutes to just take some time to just go before the Lord. Let's remember this. We're coming before the presence of God. We've been welcomed into his presence. We have no reason to fear and go, oh, we're walking boldly in and going, God, yo, search me. I'm perfect and holy in your sight because of what you've done. Search me, because I want every part of who I am to receive the truth of what you've done so I can enter into this oneness that you created me for. And be filled with the true glory that God created you for, which was to know him and to be one with him. That's what we were created for. No other glory is going to fill you like this one. That's why we're doing this.